everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the UnchARTed Podcast. I'm Andrea Tabanyag.
And I'm David Borsi, and joining us today for our podcast is...
My name is Francis Ann P. Mejino, but you can call me Aices.
Thank you, Ate Aices. Actually, I wanted to ask a bit of background history on what you're doing right now and where you graduated from.
Okay, I graduated from LaSalle College of St. Benilde, a Bachelor of Performing Arts. Then I am currently working in Axe Manila Dance Schools. Yeah.
So you would say that your course is generally around the creatives and arts.
Yes, mostly in dance. Yeah.
Can you tell us exactly why you wanted to pursue these as your dreams and why you wanted to pursue this as a course in general?
Actually, it started when I started dancing. I thought of it as a hobby at first, but then since I was doing it like simultaneously every day, so when I was picking a course for college, I didn't know that there's a dance course. So I was like, I don't want to stop dancing, so I want to try to pursue it as a profession.
I'm so sorry, but I actually wanted to ask about that. Typically, a misconception here in the Philippines is that a hobby or a creative hobby can't really be pursued and should stay as a hobby.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
It depends actually. But if you have that passion, you should pursue it because first and foremost, we have to always think about what will make us happy. We always have to choose happiness because having regrets in the future is the worst feeling ever, I think. Yeah. So,
Okay, so I'd like to ask if it's okay with you. When you were picking your college course or when you entered the arts as a whole, were you supported in it or did you feel like you were being judged or were there bad emotions or bad reactions towards that choice of yours?
actually, nobody supported me when I took dance because for them, art, there's like a cloud or like a stigma that art is for the elites only. There was that image. So the traditional parents that I grow up, they're like, it's not practical. Like, you're only gonna do it as a hobby, but never as a profession. So there was that moment where I have to go against all odds that time. So
I'd like to ask then, what gave you that motivation or what pushed you to go against all odds? Because that's hard to do, right? You can't just like decide then and there that, oh, I'll go against all the odds. What pushed you to do that?
I think because I love it. I don't want to have regrets when I get older, and I don't want to have that frustration with me that I will pressure my future children to do something that I was not able to do. So, yeah.
Well, actually, I wanted to expound further on that. Saying that you were not supported, I'm guessing this is from your parents or maybe your family.
Yes.
I wanted to also ask, what could you say about that situation? Like, how did it make you feel? Because culturally, our parents' opinion is very important to
Yes,
us.
yes, yes.
I mean, typically, when our parents tell us they want us to be this or that,
Yes.
we usually tell them we don't want to be, but end up
Yeah.
doing it anyway in order
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
satisfy them or
Yeah.
make sure that they're proud of us. But what could you say? What could you say is the feeling that you were going through when your parents were not in full support of this?
It was really, really hard because, you know, when nobody's supporting you on something that you want to do, it's painful. It's like a heartbreak, you know, especially coming from your loved ones. So, for me, there's also this factor that you have to obey and honor your parents. But there's also this part that when I was trying to pick a course that time, I asked God, of course. So I think it's God's calling because He gave me the opportunity to like push through with it. You have to take risks. You have to take the chances while you still can. So I grabbed that chance. Yeah.
I'd like to ask. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
I know that that's not something that you can easily share all the
Yes,
time. But
yes.
thank you for being able to share that with us. I'd like to ask, do you think that wait, sorry. I'd like to ask, are you happy that you made that decision? Are you happy that you chose this career and do you think that it ended up well for you in the long run?
Yes. I think it's the best choice that I've done so far because I don't want to, I mean, nothing against with the other work, but for me, after like talking to a lot of people who does work for the practicality, you know how stressed and depressed they are.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm more on the happiness side. I money can come, money will come, money will flow, but you have to always choose your mental health, your emotional side, because if that breaks, you're gone.
Yeah, you won't
Yeah.
be able to
Yes.
pursue anything
Yes,
because
yes,
you're so
exactly.
mentally drained.
Okay, so you were able to take up these courses through your own vocation and through your own power.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, what can you say about those who also want to pursue the arts or want to pursue something in the creatives, but cannot due to their own circumstance, maybe financial issues or, like we mentioned earlier, lack of support, or maybe external issues? What can you say they can do, or maybe possibly something that they can look forward to doing in order to achieve their dreams?
I think if there's a will, there's a way. Because like with me, it's not just the lack of support from my parents. It's also because even if we can afford it, they don't want to pay for that tuition specifically because first and foremost, it's Benilde and it's dance. For them, it's just a hobby. So why would they spend that money for a course that's, they can't see as a profession? So for me, what I did, I applied for scholarship because I really wanted it. So when I got in, they had no choice but to just let me go because I got in and I don't have to pay anything. So I think you just have to be brave enough, find ways. There's also ways. You just have to keep pushing. Yeah.
Oh, that's great that you're able to do that for yourself. And I think a lot of people should take inspiration from that because, people are so afraid of taking risks, like walking into the unknown, taking the path uncharted. But but thankfully you're able to, you succeeded in your path and that's great. But I'd like to ask, since we're already on the topic, how was that process for you? Like from, applying to that college and then going through college and then finding a job in the arts. How was that? And can you describe it to us?
Processing the applying and all that, I think it's hard because I have to do it on my own, and of course I don't know how it works at the first place, but I just keep researching. I think researching helps a lot, and the finding of the jobs, I think you have to have a good connection. I think having connection, like from my dance school, that's where I danced before. So I think they just found out that I took a dance and then they just grabbed me in like that. So I think a good connection also helps. Trying to socialize with people in the arts should be a good help for that profession itself. Not just in dance, but also in the other parts of the art. Yeah.
So you would say community plays a big aspect or plays a big role in
Yes.
the arts.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to connect with people because aside from just getting a work from them, you get to be inspired and motivated by their stories, by their experiences itself. So I think that helps. A good community in the with arts. Yeah.
I'd also like to point out how, well, you mentioned that feeling inspired by one another and sort of this creativity bouncing off of one another. I think that that also does play an important role. And I wanted to know, how do you wish that your current or what you do now, how do you wish it inspires others? Or what do you do now that you hope to achieve with it?
Me, I want to change lives. I want the people, as a teacher, I want them to feel something after taking my class. I don't want them to just come in and come out. I want it that there's a lesson that they got from in. Like, for example, making a mistakes. Others, when you make a mistakes, you just give up. But I want them to have that when you make a mistake, it means it's another lesson to learn. It's another reason for you to grow. So I think something like that, changing lives of people is a big factor. Yeah.
Do you think that the perception of arts is different now than it was before? Because now we're becoming more open minded as a society, which is great. And I think that, social media and all the thoughts and the discussions about art, do you think with those we're do you think with those the perception of art is different now?
Yeah, very much. Because before, they're really close minded by the whole thing about art. Like what they always say is like, passion will not feed you, or like, art is only for the elite, things like that. But now, they're slowly accepting it that that art is a big deal. Like without art, life is boring basically. So I think that's a big factor, I guess. Yeah.
Well, how do you think we can continue to push this agenda of being understanding of art? What do you think we can do as a society or maybe on an individual level to sort of encourage this behavior that art is good and art is important?
Mm-hmm. We should just keep educating the people around us. We should be patient in letting them know how important art is, because once you keep educating them, they slowly accept it. Yeah. So I think we should just be patient, be understanding, because they're not educated about it. So I think it's also helpful if the curriculum could also change in school, that they will add more lessons about art, like the deeper lessons about art, I guess.
Well, through all that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much. We've
Yes.
learned so much. I think your insights provided great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, your insights were great. They provided great perspective for us and our viewers,
Yes,
obviously.
yes.
But I wanted to ask, and I feel like this is one of the most
Mm-hmm.
important uh, questions that we have, is that how do you think, or what can you say to the people who want to pursue the arts? What advice can you give them?
Take risk. Take the chance to do it. Choose your happiness, especially now that mental health is a big thing for each and everyone. So if it makes you happy, do it. Think about those financial stuffs after. Those will come. You know, you have to always choose how to love yourself, because art itself, it helps you cope with stress. It helps you cope with anxiety and depression. It helps you also express your emotions and connect with people. So I think it really goes a long way. So I think you just have to push through with it, keep going like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. You heard it here, guys. Make sure to take some risks and remember to
Take the path uncharted and join us next episode where we're gonna talk about Aices answers in depth and we're gonna break them down and of course talk about the arts even more. So take the path uncharted. Bye guys.
bye.